Lesson 58, Pivot Compatibility. In this lesson, first of all, I'll show you how to bring back the old interface and how to bring back the old drag and drop if you enjoyed creating pivot tables in previous versions of Excel. We'll talk about switching between Excel 2003 and Excel 2007. When we open a workbook in compatibility mode, our pivot tables are going to lose functionality, and I'll show you how to upgrade those pivot tables. But the real big problem is pivot tables that were created in Excel 2007 can't go back and be open in Excel 2003 and be refreshable. That's a huge problem. And we'll talk about the steps necessary to be able to create a pivot table in Excel 2007 that you can share with Excel 2003. All right, first of all, think about the old pivot table interface if you used it in Excel 2003. It was a wizard, and on the first step of the wizard, we had various options that don't seem to be available in the Insert Pivot Table dialog. The way to get back to the old wizard is to hold down Alt-D and then press P. This brings us back to the old pivot table wizard, although it's funny to me that they actually went through and designed new art for this dialog box that no one is ever going to see. You could use this to create multiple consolidation ranges or to link to an external data source. Multiple consolidation ranges is the one that's not in the new pivot table list. Now, if you're going to do this a lot and you can't remember Alt-DP, you can customize the Quick Access toolbar. We'll look at All Commands and go down to the P's. Pivot Table and Pivot Chart Wizard, we can add that, click OK. And that would be another quick way to get to the old-fashioned pivot table wizard. Cancel. Now, what if you just want to build your pivot tables using the old drag and drop? We'll insert a pivot table, click OK. If I right-click on the table and choose Pivot Table Options, go to the Display tab, the third tab, and there's something called Classic Pivot Table Layout. Enables dragging of fields in the grid. Click OK. All right, well now we're back to the old system where we could just drag region, drag product, drag revenue, and drag customer, and build the reports just simply by dragging and dropping. You can rearrange the reports again by dragging and dropping using this method. So if you just want to get back to the old interface, you're in great shape with using that option to be able to drag and drop. Okay, here is a pivot table that was created in Excel 2003. I opened the workbook in Excel 2007, and I used the Office button and then convert it to a new file format, XLSX. Well, it's funny, this pivot table is now marked as being created in version 10 of Excel. And that means that we can't currently use any of the new date features until the pivot table has been refreshed. So for example, if I would come to the customer field and try and use any of the new features, it says I must refresh the pivot table. Click OK to refresh. All right, and now, very subtle difference, but those new features become available. So if you open an old file, you have to upgrade the file and then refresh the pivot table in order to get to all of the great features. But here's the problem. Let's say that you create a pivot table in Excel 2007. Whether you use any of the new features or not, it is impossible for that pivot table to go back to Excel 2003 and to be refreshed. That's a real nightmare. That means that even though we can share files, we cannot create pivot tables here and send them backwards. What you're going to have to do is, before you ever create the pivot table, is save your file in an XLS format. So I opened my file, I did File, Save As, saved as Excel 97 through 2003, I then closed the file and reopened the file to force it to be in compatibility mode. This is the only way in Excel 2007 to create a pivot table that will be shareable with former versions of Excel. Insert Pivot Table, click OK. I can do Region, Product, Revenue. And you'll notice that the customer dropdown never appears. I can't filter, I can't use any of the new features because I'm in compatibility mode. So while that's a hindrance, this is the only way that I'm going to be able to go backwards and save this file and send it to another computer that uses Excel 2003 and to be able to have it work in Excel 2003 where that person can refresh the table. I realize this is incredibly confusing, and it would be much simpler if you and everyone you knew used Excel 2007, but we know that's not going to be the situation. In the booklet that came with this lesson, I'll have a link to a great post by Eric Patterson. Eric is the pivot table guru on the Excel team at Microsoft, and he explains this exact situation in much more detail. Well, I hope you found that helpful, and thanks for watching.
Looking to advance your career by acquiring new skills? Tired of expensive off-site training programs? Wish you could learn from the best instructors in the industry? Look no further than live lessons. Self-paced, personal video instruction by the world's leading technology publishers. Each live lesson comes with a DVD featuring 3 to 4 hours of instructor-led classroom training, sample program code that allows you to work along with your personal instructor, and an example-rich study guide. Live lessons allow you to watch the entire course from start to finish, or navigate directly to any of the individual lessons. You'll literally watch over the shoulder of your instructor as he shows you how to build state-of-the-art applications. Live lessons, the power of the world's leading technology experts at your fingertips. To learn more, visit mylivelessons.com today.